Hey, I'm here in Oakley, and today we're going to showcase why this has become one of the top ranked and most sought after neighborhoods in all of Cincinnati. Let's roll. Hey, so we're super pumped about today's video. We are going to cover everything you need to know about Oakley. I am particularly excited about this neighborhood because I actually spent some time living here after college for about 2 years, and I'm a huge fan of the area and everything it has to offer. So here's the rundown of what we're going to be covering. So first, we're going to dive into the location of Oakley. This is going to include everything that's here locally, as well as the surrounding areas and some of the benefits to living in this community. Then we're going to talk about the amenities. Think about the local options when it comes to eating, shopping, working out, and even more. Then we're going to talk about the housing. Hey, we are a local real estate team here in the area, so we want you to fully understand Oakley when it comes to the style of homes, the price points, and what it looks like to purchase a home in the area. We'll then touch briefly on the demographics, the age group, the population, and who this area might be an excellent fit for. And finally, we're going to take it to the streets and see what the locals have to say about living in Oakley. Hey, so we're going to dive in and talk about Oakley as a location. And one of the things I love about this neighborhood is for a long time, Oakley was still considered an up-and-coming neighborhood in Cincinnati. I think you will be hard-pressed to find somebody that says this neighborhood is still up and coming. Oakley has arrived, and it is surrounded by other thriving neighborhoods. So if you're looking at a map directly to the northwest here of Oakley, you've got Pleasant Ridge. This is another area that was considered up and coming for a while, and it is a fantastic place to live in Cincinnati now. Just south of that, you have Norwood, another great area, and south of that, one of Cincinnati's premier neighborhoods, Hyde Park. The benefits of having these three areas on the west side of Oakley cannot be overstated for local residents here. As you jump to the east, you have Madisonville, which is a fantastic neighborhood with some of the most developments right now going on in Cincinnati. Booming, another neighborhood that was up and coming and is now a fan favorite here locally. So you have Oakley wedged right in the middle of all of these thriving areas, which is one of the reasons it's such a fantastic place to live. One of the major interstates here in Cincinnati is I-71. If you've lived here or you've been to Cincinnati, you know that I-71 and I-75 are really the two major interstates. Oakley is right off of Interstate 71. I can actually see one of my personal rental properties from the highway as I'm driving by to go downtown. This is such a great location for individuals who live here to be able to hop on the highway and get anywhere quickly within the city. As a result of the awesome location here, you are actually only between 12 and 14 minutes away from downtown starting in Oakley. So if you're willing to make that drive, plenty of access to things like Reds game, Bengals games, even over the Rhine if you're going for a great date night, all within 15 minutes. And if you're planning on taking a trip, CVG is actually only 25 minutes. And people that don't know Cincinnati as well, the Cincinnati airport is actually located in Hebron, Kentucky, but still very close, being under 30 minutes from right here in Oakley. As a whole, this is one of the biggest assets for Oakley, is this prime location to everything Cincinnati has to offer. Hey, now we're here at Madtree, and one of the things we want to do is focus on the amenities that Oakley has to offer. So think restaurants, coffee shops, entertainment. Let's get into the thick of some of the things that people love right here in this neighborhood. When it comes to Madtree, this is one of the top breweries here in Cincinnati. They have incredible pizza and drinks here in this awesome outdoor patio space where people love to hang out. And just across the street, we actually have one of the defining features of Oakley. This is Crossroads Church. Crossroads is the biggest church in Cincinnati. It's a multi-site church, and it's actually one of the biggest churches in the United States. What we love about Crossroads is that they constantly keep their lobby open, and they actually offer free coffee and a workspace for people during the day. This is huge here in Oakley for the residents that live right here. Hey, when it comes to restaurants, we're going to roll through a couple favorites for you. One of the biggest here is Sleepy Bee Cafe. This is an awesome spot, big fan favorite here in Oakley. Other great options would be Wild Eggs and the Bakery. And to accompany breakfast, or if you're looking for a spot to work remotely, two incredible coffee shops right here in the area to go along with the Starbucks. You've got Red Tree Cafe and Art Gallery, which is an absolute stunner and a great spot to hang out for the day. And you have a Cincinnati staple, Deeper Roots Coffee as well, just down the street. And obviously when it comes to lunch and dinner, it's tough to narrow it down, but some of our favorites right here in this neighborhood are the Establishment, Red Feather Kitchen, and the Oak Tavern. Not to mention a fan favorite here in Cincinnati, Dewey's Pizza, and then you've got great fast food options like Chick-fil-A and Chicken Salad Chick. And hey, we can't go over all those food options without talking dessert. Here locally, you have Crumble Cookies, Nothing But Cakes, and Holtman's Donuts, not to mention local legend and fan favorite, which opened in 1913, Aglamisi's Bros. Well, if you know me at all, you know I could talk about food all day, but let's move on to some of the local shopping and entertainment as well. Just right here in Oakley, you've got a Cinemark movie theater and Hyde Park Plaza with tons of options. But let's not forget, we're really close to Norwood, which offers Rookwood, tons of shopping options and food options there as well. And the new Factory 52, also in Norwood, that has a ton of both entertainment, shopping, and brewery options. Here in Oakley, you are close to everything. And let's not forget that amongst all of these other options, right here in Oakley, we have our trusted Target. Hey, and to close out the amenity talk, let's talk health and fitness here for a minute. You've got some great shopping here locally for groceries. You have Kroger, Fresh Market, and Meijer all available here in Oakley, plus some things like Aldi just close by. And when it comes to gyms, if you're looking to get involved, this is a great place. You have Crunch Fitness, eSporta, and a Planet Fitness all right here in this neighborhood. And if corporate gyms aren't your thing, there are some other fitness options, including Climb Time Rock Climbing Gym, Orange Theory Fitness, and Body Alive and Pure Barre when it comes to yoga studios and full body workouts. Hey, hopefully that helps you understand the landscape of what is available here in Oakley. Now, let's talk about housing here in the neighborhood. This is a realtor's dream because the homes here have so much charm and character. As you can tell, there are a ton of Tudor-style homes here, traditional style homes, and even some of these newer townhomes that are being built that are super luxury. When it comes to this area, price point expectations are all over the place. You might be able to get into Oakley in the mid 200s for a smaller home or one that needs work. But if you're buying a nicer home in the area, you could even see locally the top sale actually eclipsed $1.3 million here on Drakewood. This is an incredible area, but it is a vast range. So if you're considering price range, what's the normal Oakley house going to look like? My advice is it's probably going to land you somewhere between $300,000 and $700,000. Statistically, those are where most of the homes here are selling. So let's do a gut check here when it comes to pricing in Oakley compared to the rest of the city. So Cincinnati as a whole actually has an average selling price of right around $230,000. Compared to here in Oakley, you're going to see the average sale price close to $375,000. But this actually isn't close to the surface of neighboring Hyde Park, which its average sale price is around $500,000. The beauty of this is you're going to find very similar styles of home here in Oakley compared to Hyde Park, but you're going to get at a much more affordable rate and still in an incredible community. And let's not forget, just because you're not living in Hyde Park, it doesn't mean you don't have access to all of those local amenities while living right here in Oakley. Something else I want to touch on here in the neighborhood is the age of the homes. You're going to see homes in this neighborhood that are over 100 years old, which is where a lot of that charm and character comes from. And people do a great job when renovating these homes of preserving a lot of that charm and character when it comes to the exterior, the stonework, and even the woodwork inside the home when they do their renovations. Something that is interesting here in Oakley is more than half of the homes are actually tenant occupied. So this doesn't mean this is a rental community per se, but there are a lot of multi-family homes. Oftentimes an owner might house hack, which means they live in one of the units while renting out other units in their home, or someone that owned a home in Oakley that was a multifamily might move out to a different neighborhood and hold that property as a rental. So you do see single family, multifamily, and townhomes here in Oakley. There are a ton of different styles of property right here in this neighborhood. So as we're closing out our housing section, one piece of realtor advice for you, at least for the last 5 years from this point in 2024, we've seen super limited inventory on the market here in Oakley. So if you're considering buying a home in the area, it does get super competitive. For right now, let's move on and talk a little bit about the demographics. Hey, when we talk about who is living here in Oakley, the last census was actually in 2020, and at that time, there were just under 12,000 residents right here in this neighborhood. Now, as you look at the ages of people that were a part of that census, it might not shock you to find out that over 33% of the people fell between the 25 and 34-year-old age gap. We really think this might be the walkability and the nature of this neighborhood, the amenities that it offers, and honestly, some of the older, cool homes might be a lot of the reason why this particular population loves this area. One thing that Oakley residents do love is that crime rates are 60% lower than the Cincinnati average. And when it comes to livability, Oakley was actually given a score of 81 out of 100, which is an exceptional livability score here in Cincinnati, which made it actually in the rankings the number 3 neighborhood to live in here locally. And as we close out this section, let's talk transportation here in Oakley. Oakley has a walkability score of 62, which is far above the average here in Cincinnati, a public transit score of a 43 out of 100, which is right in line with the average, and a bikeable score of 44 out of 100. Now, one thing I do want to note is that the Wasson Way Trail has now been finished out and is a fantastic benefit to Oakley residents. It is technically just across the street, so it may not be reflected in these statistics, but this is an awesome opportunity for locals when it comes to walking and biking, and I think it would bump those scores up a little bit. Hey, at this point, you've spent enough time deep diving with me on this incredible neighborhood, but let's take it to the streets and see what other people have to say about Oakley. All right, we're here with Leah at Deep Root. She is the coffee connoisseur here in the neighborhood. We're here with Ellie and Abby, and we're gonna ask them, what do you guys like doing here in Oakley?
I love this business strip, like the heart of Oakley, which like, there's so many small businesses that I love to like jump into and support, like Deeper Roots, Red Tree coffee shop, and Madtree, the brewery right down the road.
I love Madtree. I love the beer there, and they have Catch a Fire pizza. It's amazing, and the vibe there is great.
Same on local businesses, like a lot of great restaurants in the area too. It's just nice that everything's walkable. Like definitely a good place where you can go do something and then go for a walk after, and it's just a pretty area.
Yeah, oh my gosh, people are walking and running around here with their like dogs all the time, and so that's something that I love about this place too.
All right, what would some of your favorite spots to grab food be?
Obviously, there's a Skyline right there.
It's Skyline time.
But also like Dewey's Pizza. Love grabbing a Dewey's on a Friday night.
I would go to Green Papaya. It's a really good place. I love their food, and it's got a great atmosphere.
The Oakley Tavern comes to mind too. It's just cozy. It's very chill, like local bar vibes. I think they do like different like event nights and stuff too.
All right, last question for you. Why would someone move to the Oakley area?
I think that it will be really easy to jump into community here. I feel like there's always things going on. I can just feel community like in the streets. If you hit up Madtree, there's people doing like trivia. If you frequent a coffee shop, you'll find people that you know. It just feels like kind of like a close-knit, like you'll just find a place to plug in.
I'm a runner, and so I like running places that are like there's things to look at, but I also feel safe, and I feel like that's a really strong suit of Oakley as well. So yeah, that's a plus.
Oakley is a really homey place. I love being here. I honestly think it's just like a really good place for families to be, and if I had to move somewhere in Cincinnati, it would be Oakley, because I've tried Clifton and OTR and Mason, but I just want somewhere in between, and a perfect like I said, homey vibe, but also like kind of suburban, but also a taste of the city. And I think Oakley is the perfect blend of the two. So
it's like perfectly said. You guys are awesome. Hey, as we're wrapping up our tour here in Oakley in Cincinnati, thank you so much for hanging with us. We want to ask this final question. Who is the right person to move here to the Oakley neighborhood? And if you're someone who likes these awesome local coffee shops, food options, tons of amenities, local community, and especially a great location to downtown and all the other neighborhoods that Cincinnati has to offer, Oakley could be a great option for you. We want you to comment below if there are other neighborhoods you think we should highlight right here in Cincinnati. And if you're thinking about moving in Cincinnati or to the area, feel free to reach out to us at info@barongrouprealty.com. We're asking you to throw us a like on this video, and we'll see you on the next one.